everyone, and thank you so much for joining for day 2 of Art with Miss Choate. This is my first official day at home along with all my students at Elaine Locke. I want to give a shout out to my 5th grade class that gave me 2 really critical suggestions for my next post. They want to see superheroes and they want to see my dog Pepper. So at the end of this, I'm going to show her if she cooperates. She really doesn't like wearing a cape, and I really insisted that I want her to wear a cape to fit with our theme today. So I've been giving her lots of treats. So we'll see if she comes over by the end of this. So basically what we're going to be doing today, and thank you everyone that did yesterday's post. I really appreciate those calm circles. It really made me feel better, and I hope it made all of you feel better as well. So today what we're going to be doing is thinking about superheroes, maybe how we can battle certain things in our own lives, maybe the virus, maybe it's something else, and this just so happens to be happening at the same time. So we're going to do a couple different projects today because with this theme, I don't really see how one might fit everyone. So I'm going to be doing a logo. So you're gonna be able to create your own superhero logo. So if you want something a little bit more calligraphy based, a little bit more geometric, that'll be the thing for you. We're also gonna be learning how to do small, simple form characters. All right, so let's get started. For today's project, you can use pretty much anything. I would recommend using a pencil today. But if you are like me and cannot find a pencil, I'm going to be using a marker. You would think the art teacher would have a pencil in her house, but I can't find one without searching for an hour. So the first thing we're gonna be doing is writing our name. I say this all the time to my students, write your name first. Now, I know you're at home, so it feels silly to have to write your name on your paper, but trust me, sometimes, especially when we're starting with a logo project, I want you to write your name on your paper first. Now, for my little ones that are watching with their parents, I know it could be hard, so let's just have them write their first name, and parents, we can assist and have it more of a conversation. If you were a superhero, what logo would you put on your chest? What would that look like? Is your name gonna be in a circle, like the Flash? Or would your name be in a diamond shape? So again, we're talking about shapes. So with our little ones, if this is great review for some of them, maybe some of them we're still not quite sure. Would you have an oval? What is their favorite shape? I know a lot of my students tend to go for stars. Now doing a star without doing that crisscross is a little hard. So don't mind my star not being perfect. And again, remember, being perfect doesn't matter. We're doing this more as like a creative exercise. We're doing this as a way to relax, a way that maybe you can picture this in your mind when you're dealing with something difficult. So we are gonna draw out a bunch of shapes. Now, normally when I'm in class, I'd say, give me an example of another shape, because guess what? This art teacher is forgetting shapes right now. So a square. And I'm not using a ruler. Not right now. Maybe if we did these thumbnail sketches and then we decided we really like this one, well then I would do my circle trick. Remember that yesterday? If you guys watched it, I'm gonna show it again. You rest that, whatever your utensil is, across on top of your middle finger. Your pointer finger goes on top, and then it rests onto your thumb. Your middle finger gets pressed really firm. Now this is where my students have a hard time. You press really, really firmly with your middle finger, and you press that pen down, and you only move the paper. Now I had a hard time right there because I hit my projector, but there we go, there's our nice circle. In case you guys didn't see yesterday's video, please check that out. So we have our circle, we have a diamond, an oval. Now we can start playing with putting our name in these shapes. What would they look like? Would we only do our initials? Do you really like your initials? So my full initials are ML. See? So this is why I like to write them out. I know what my initials are, but sometimes I like to see how do those letters react with each other. Now again, depending on your age, this is where, we gotta help. So ask, like, how would they stack an M on an L? Now I'm using mine as an example, but again, this is where we have to make our own. So would my L come kind of like it being here? And then my C, it's kind of actually the circle. So maybe I go down on top of this circle and make that thicker. So here's one project you can play with. Coming up with your superhero logo. Now if I went through and I started doing these as well, L, I could start to decide which one is my favorite. Maybe I turn this to the side. Oh, I just did that one backwards. Oh well, and I forgot my middle name, but that's okay. And then you could start to play with which one is your favorite. And then when you pick your favorite, I don't like that. Maybe that makes it better. When you pick your favorite, I like that circle a lot. I'm gonna redo it and I'm gonna try it again. Let's try a different way to do those letters. Because I tell my students all the time, the first way you do it isn't gonna be the right one. So we're gonna play with it. Kind of am enjoying this. Maybe if I make that L thicker to make it clearly an L. I could even do one line thicker. And now I'm kind of enjoying the fact that I couldn't find my pencil and I'm using a marker for this. I'm actually happy that happened. And like I tell you, happy accidents happen all the time in the art classroom. I like how that looks. That could be an interesting superhero logo if I was a superhero conquering any art problem there is out there. So that's project number 1. Now let's dive into project number 2. All right, so for lesson number 2 today, because I do want to give a lot of different options. I have a little bit more time right now. You guys might have more time because now everyone's officially at home. So when we're drawing a character, you'll notice when you watch cartoons or you watch anime that they're all made out of simple shapes. So the first thing you're going to look at is the head. The head can be a couple different shapes. Oval or circle is generally the two. So we're going to start with the circle. And again, I'd prefer if you were drawing this in pencil, but if you're like me again, I can't find that pencil, so we're going to do it in marker. So we're going to draw that circle. Next comes the next step, where you can either have a neck or not have a neck. If we're looking at a character like Powerpuff Girls, they don't have necks, and a lot of the like more roundish kind of characters don't have necks, and it gives them that kind of cute demeanor. So we're going to do our body shape, and our body shape is going to be a rectangle. Now you don't have to draw that top of the rectangle because the head is sitting on it. And we're simply going to draw half ovals coming out of the rectangle and half ovals coming out of where that neck should be. This is the start to the Powerpuff Girls. And now we have our hairline, which I believe, I don't know which one it is, has that swoop. So this is just an arch, half an arch, half an arch, half an arch. Even for my young students out there, we can do this. You can talk about dividing up the head into opposites. So like from the top to the middle side, top to the middle side. And then we're gonna think about those eyes. The eyes are gonna be like half circles. With those dots inside. And I believe the one has pigtails. And I think about it like a swoosh of ice cream or like the little nib on my pen. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. You guys, you're just starting out. And that's okay. And then a little mouth, the little mouth. And this is pretty much it. Like, they have shoes, I believe. They have that belt going across the center. These are all details, but again, I'd rather see you be creative and make up your own character. So this is a simple step. So you could redo this and make it your own. Maybe think about putting that logo on the chest that we made up. How cool would that look? this logo on there. So this is a point where you could pause me, make up your own character, maybe make up your own logo. So let's do one more character. We're gonna do an oval face. So this one's gonna look maybe a little bit more realistic. We have our oval face. After we have that, we are gonna have a neck on this one. Just 2 lines. Again, are we doing anything complicated? No, not yet. We're gonna do simple shapes, and then we can make that elevated into more complicated things. Once we have our neck, and I'm gonna make that a little longer, we're gonna do a trapezoid. Now that trapezoid can be different depending on how narrow you want that waist. We're gonna do anywhere that moves in a circular motion, like your wrist, you can put a circle there. That way you give yourself that room, that rounded motion. But we're gonna go on to the hips, which is just another trapezoid but shorter. And again, hips move in a circular motion, so some circles. And now we can add some ovals here. And this is why I prefer doing it in pencil, because once you do it, you can go back and erase the things you don't like. So knees are circles, calves are ovals, ankles are circles, and then our feet are circles. Go, and don't forget up here. And anytime you forget how long something should be, measure yourself. Where do your elbows stop? Stop for a minute right now, put your pen down. My elbows go to my waist. So make sure you're drawing them right. Now stop again. Where does your wrist end? Your wrist comes down to about there. Okay, your wrist goes to about your hip, maybe a little longer. Measure, don't just take a second to stop and look and see how your body is, or look at somebody else who's at home. Okay? So maybe those arms are a little, you know what it is? It's not that the arms are too long. I think my calves, this part needs to be extended, and that's okay. I'm not gonna beat myself up about it. I'm just gonna try it again. That's what I keep doing. I keep trying and trying. I've plenty of sketchbooks filled with different things. So, and then you can go to the face. We could do a hairline similar to powder puff. We could do, ponytail. And I keep my lines light. You can add your ears, depending on how anime you want this to look. Oval eyes, little dab of a nose, little mouth. Not hard. And now you can go back, flush it out, put your logo on it. We got 2 easy characters that you can practice and turn into whatever masterpiece you want. It doesn't end here. I don't want you to do this one and then stop. I want you to keep practicing this one. Or if you have maybe a student that's in pre-K 4, yes, they're gonna be doing those stick figures, right? Like I see a lot of these in the classroom. Just encourage them to turn these little shapes into shapes instead of lines. Let's make the body shapes. And then encourage them to start putting clothes on top of those shapes. It's okay if they already drew a stick figure, start to color over it. I encourage my students all the time, don't give up on something that you have here. If I correct you on something, don't just crumple this paper up and take a new one. Take this one and see how can we turn this into something interesting. Because a lot of our supplies that we're using can be layered. We have a pen, it can be layered on top of. It have pencil, we have a marker. Even these markers like this one, you think, oh, I colored it blue, now I can't go back over it. But if I took my black marker, which of course can't be found right now, but fine, we'll take this big green one. I could still go over it, change its color, add designs to it. I can still do things to this one. It's not done. Now, it doesn't look beautiful, but that's okay, because I'm learning. I'm learning that I shouldn't do stick people. No one should do stick people. So, I think that's all I have for today. We're thinking about those simple shapes. We're thinking about logos. I really, really enjoy the logos. I could sit here at this table for a couple more hours, and I might, honestly, after I end this video, come here and do a few more of these and imagine myself, what would I do if I was a superhero? These are great. And you know what? And honestly, even for adults, even if you're not thinking about superhero, you're thinking about your business, design your own logo. Like, come up with an idea that you think is interesting, and even if you want to go hire a designer, I always say, you know, go to an artist, totally. But if you come to an artist with an idea of like, I like my name for my business within this, that's great. We're all creative, and it's a muscle. It's a muscle in our brain, and we all need to practice, stretch it, work it out. And so let's take this time that we're all inside to practice that muscle, to stretch it, to imagine what we can create. There's a lot we can do, and it just takes practice. And I don't want anyone to give up. Hopefully I didn't do anything too challenging today. I don't want anyone to say, oh, I can't draw this. Oh man, mine looks so bad. Please, please don't give up. I wanted to do something a little more challenging, so my 5th graders were excited about it. But please post your photos below and share this video. If you want to see anything else later in the week, comment below. I will totally listen. Like I listen to my 5th graders, I'll listen to anyone's feedback. So thank you guys for joining me. Oh, happy St. Patrick's Day. I meant to say that at the beginning. So happy St. Pat's. Come here. Do you want to show everyone? Do you want to show everyone your pretty cape? Here she comes. And here she is in her pretty red cape. Can you say hi? She's more interested in the treats right now. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me in today's day 2 of Art with Miss Choate. Bye. Say bye.